for this thing. All you bitches best to know my name. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Catch you after dark, I'ma spit your fucking chest apart. Follow you. For this thing, all you bitches best to know my name. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Catch you after dark, I'ma spit your fucking chest apart. Follow you.
And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke. And yet we let Japan...
Especially when the hotel got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they playing. It's Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to a Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they playing. It's Hotep. Hotep, hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, hope you motherfuckers understand.
Collected so much money.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Rush Hours, Cannon Hotep. Under the weather, Cannon Hotep. Give yourselves a round of applause because you could be anywhere right now, but you're hanging out with me, and I really do appreciate it. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Share the stream, guys. Let people know we live. You catching the replay? Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. I can use that constructive criticism. Want to donate to the channel? $ Cannon Hotep on Cash App. Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Always welcome, guys. Oh, my goodness gracious. Welcome to the Rush Hour, guys. Welcome to the Rush Hour. Welcome to the Rush Hour, man. The left is losing their minds, aren't they? The left is losing their minds. So Trump had, what's it called? What was it called yesterday? Not Freedom Day. What the fuck you call it? Liberation Day. Liberation Day. Trump had Liberation Day yesterday where he signed into law or an executive order on reciprocal tariffs. And I think the word reciprocal is being lost on a lot of the left and some rhinos and a lot of never Trumpers. So let's go to see what Trump said about it, okay? He had a press conference yesterday. Let's check him out. Let's see what he said yesterday. Dang it. There we go.
From 1789 to 1913, we were a tariff-backed nation, and the United States was proportionately the wealthiest it has ever been. So wealthy, in fact, that in the 1880s, they established a commission to decide what they were going to do with the vast sums of money they were collecting. We were collecting so much money so fast, we didn't know what to do with it. Isn't that a nice problem to have? What do you think, Marco? Good problem? Marco would love that problem. But we don't have that problem anymore, but we're not going to have it very much longer, I will tell you. But they collected so much money, they actually formed a commission to determine what they were going to do with the money, who they were going to give it to, and how much. Then in 1913, for reasons unknown to mankind, they established the income tax so that citizens, rather than foreign countries, would start paying the money necessary to run our government. Then in 1929, it all came to a very abrupt end with the Great Depression, and it would have never happened if they had stayed with the tariff policy. It would have been a much different story. They tried to bring back tariffs to save our country, but it was gone. It was gone. It was too late. Nothing could have been done. It took years and years to get out of that depression, far longer than even FDR had that office right over there for a long period of time. The ramp system, it's rather intricate, was built because of him, and every time you walk up, you think of him, and he did a great job in many ways, but it lasted long beyond his terms, as you know. But it's not too late any longer, and we're going to start being smart, and we're going to start being very wealthy again. We're going to be wealthy as a country because they've taken so much of our wealth away from us. We're not going to let that happen. We truly can be very wealthy. We can be so much wealthier than any country. It's not even believable, but we're getting smart.
So there you have it. You know, Trump likes to wax poetic. But he's right. He's right. When you look back at history, right, you see that we use tariffs as a form of revenue for the United States of America. So much so that we did have a fantastic surplus, right? And then when we started trying to outsource a lot of the manufacturing to other countries and other nations, it killed our way of living, right? We always talk about it. We always give the example of Africa. He said, well, we don't want to go over there. We don't want to send all of these clothes to Africa because it kills the economy in Africa because the people that live over there in these countries in Africa, they're not able to sell their goods because we're too busy pushing our goods onto them. So the people over in Africa, the business owners in Africa, they lose out on money, right? You guys heard that before, right? You've heard that explanation. So why does that not apply to America? Again, why does that not apply to America? Am I tripping? You know what I mean? Am I tripping on it? Why does that not apply to America? Hold on one second, y'all. Goodness gracious. Hold on. Let's do this. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Right. Right one? Yeah, that's the right one. How about chat? All right, I had to make sure I got the other one in. I see you over there, Josh King, Mike. I see you, Montoya. I appreciate you guys. Now we should be able to see your chats on the screen. All right, so why does that not apply to us, right? So what happened is we destroyed our manufacturing because we wanted to outsource everything to China and I don't know, Taiwan or Vietnam, stuff like that, right? But see, this is the thing. We outsource that stuff to them. However, these countries are kicking our ass when it comes to tariffs, right? See, Trump not just levying 46% here, 60% here, and 40% there, and 25% here. It's reciprocal, meaning that these countries that he's levying these tariffs on already have some astronomical tariff on us, right? Why does Vietnam have a 46% tariff on America, but we're not responding in kind to that, and we're just paying the shit like we're paying the bully our lunch money every day to not fuck with us? To me, that doesn't make sense. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. It actually irks me a little bit because finding that out now that, I didn't know all of these countries was taxing us for buying their shit. So we're buying your shit and then you're taxing us. No. We need to make that shit fair. So if Canada is giving us a 25% tariff, levying a 25% tariff on us, then it's pretty much a wash if we levy a 25% tariff on Canada. See, that's why they're losing their minds, because their money is leaving. We're already paying a shit ton of money for their goods and services. We're paying a shit ton of money for their goods and services. So what they're doing is levying a tax on us to wash it for them? No, fuck that. It needs to be in kind. So that's why I'm all for these tariffs. That's why I'm all for the reciprocal tariffs. That's why I'm all for that shit. And these countries are panicking because their GDP depends on whether America buys their products or not. That's why you don't see a lot of people saber rattling. The only one you really hear is Trudeau, and he on his way out the door if he's not already out the door. But the only person you're hearing is Trudeau, crying and shit. Hold on, guys. Can y'all see me? Y'all see me? One in the chat if y'all can see me. I know y'all can see me on Kick, but I've been talking all this time, and we might have to start the show over and shit. Hold on. Bear with me, y'all. Okay, you can see me on the vertical, but I got the horizontal stream going too, and for some reason, it's not loading. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, we back. I got it. All right. Oh boy. Like I said, I'm getting used to this. I'm using what's it called? Rumble Studio. I'm using Rumble Studio to see, if this is better. You know what I mean? See, Rudy said I'm late, so that means they heard none of that shit. They heard none of it. Hey, Rudy, y'all didn't hear anything at all over there? I've been rocking and rolling for like 10 minutes. If y'all didn't, we're going to start this shit over. All right. Damn. That was fucking going off the dome. I don't be reading shit. I gotta start this shit over. God damn it. By the way, y'all like the hoodie? Y'all like the hoodie? Another Canon Hotep original. Fuck. All right, let's start this shit over. God damn it. I'm sorry, everybody. We got started over for the sake of YouTube. Over there, the horizontal stream. I'm over this bitch. Sick from the fucking YJs or something. I don't know what I'm sick from. But we're going to start this shit over one more time. Gosh dang it. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe I did that. I'm sitting there looking at I'm like, why the fuck am I not on the studio screen? My dumbass. Oh, my gosh. I'm a boomer tech today. But then again, this is my second time using the Rumble Studio. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the shit together now. Gosh dang it. I'm going to get it together. All right? All right, I'm going to get it together. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start this shit all over again. Hopefully I can remember what the fuck I said because it was off the dome. It was off the dome. Let's do this again, y'all. I'm sorry. So nice I had to do it twice.
And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke. And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right.
Rewind!
No threat to our Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they playing. It's Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to our Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they playing. It's Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Rush Hour. I'm Canon Hotep. Give yourselves a round of applause because you could be anywhere right now, but you're hanging out with me, and I really do appreciate it. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Share the stream. Let people know we live. You catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the topics at hand. Let me know how I'm doing. I can use that constructive criticism, guys. You want to donate to the channel, $ Canon Hotep on Cash App, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Always welcome, guys. Also, if you're over on Kick, go ahead and, for a cup of coffee a month, you can help a struggling streamer over here. Help a struggling streamer over here. Every little bit goes back into the channel, guys. Every little bit goes back into the channel. Daddy need an FN45 tactical, okay? I need an FN45 tactical over there. Oh my gosh, man. I can't believe I gotta do this shit over, man. But y'all heard Donnie T. That's Donnie T back in, I guess, the early 90s, late 80s. He's standing on business. He's standing on business from back then. But he right. He right. So yesterday, if you guys, don't know, you under a rock somewhere, Trump labeled yesterday Liberation Day. We got Liberation Day, and this is the day where he signed, I guess, an executive order, I'm assuming it is, on the tariffs. On tariffs, putting reciprocal tariffs on other nations. Again, putting reciprocal tariffs on other nations. Operative word is reciprocal, okay? That's lost on a lot of the left. That's lost on a lot of the never-Trumpers. Reciprocal, which means that he's responding in kind to other countries who are levying astronomical heavy tariffs on us, right? So yesterday Trump did a press conference about it, and we're going to take a listen to it. It's about a minute and some change.
From 1789 to 1913, we were a tariff-backed nation, and the United States was proportionately the wealthiest it has ever been. So wealthy, in fact, that in the 1880s, they established a commission to decide what they were going to do with the vast sums of money they were collecting. We were collecting so much money so fast, we didn't know what to do with it. Isn't that a nice problem to have? What do you think, Marco? Good problem? Marco would love that problem. But we don't have that problem anymore, but we're not going to have it very much longer, I will tell you. But they collected so much money, they actually formed a commission to determine what they were going to do with the money, who they were going to give it to, and how much. Then in 1913, for reasons unknown to mankind, they established the income tax so that citizens, rather than foreign countries, would start paying the money necessary to run our government. Then in 1929, it all came to a very abrupt end with the Great Depression, and it would have never happened if they had stayed with the tariff policy. It would have been a much different story. They tried to bring back tariffs to save our country, but it was gone. It was gone. It was too late. Nothing could have been done. It took years and years to get out of that depression, far longer than even FDR.
We're going to leave it right there because when we listened to it the last time, we were just talking about FDR and the fucking handicap ramp and shit like that. But Trump's right? Back in the day, we were operating with tariffs. That's how the United States had that was the revenue stream for the United States, on top of selling goods and services abroad, okay, to other countries and stuff like that. So not only were we selling, like Bethlehem steel and stuff like that, we also had tariffs on other countries. That's how we were able to not have an income tax, guys. An income tax, right? A lot of us hate paying taxes. I know I hate paying taxes. That's how we were not, that's why we didn't have an income tax. So now Trump wants to reintroduce tariffs. Now, is it too late to reintroduce tariffs? I don't know. Okay? A lot of people were like, oh, Trump's an idiot. Is he an idiot or is he a fucking genius? That's my question, right? You can't be both. He's a billionaire for a reason. And a lot of people, oh, he was bankrupt. Let me tell you how his bankruptcies work before we even start, okay? Trump would build a, and I'm not even going to hold you. The shit is shady. The shit is shady, okay? Trump would, let's just say he would build a casino, right? He would build a casino, right? And then he would make as much money off of that casino over a period of time as possible. Then when that casino was no longer making the revenue that he wanted it to make, he would file for bankruptcy, okay? By design, not because he was fucking broke, by design, okay? By design. Then once he's filed for bankruptcy, then he would buy the shit back with his development company for pennies on the fucking dollar and then sell that shit for twice the amount that he fucking built the building for. Now in Atlantic City, they ain't like that shit at all. They ain't like that shit at all, but that's what happened. That's how, like, he was using bankruptcies to his advantage. It's fucking smart. It's shitty, but it's fucking smart, okay? It's fucking smart. All right. Anyway, just to get that shit out the way, because there's always a fucking argument about that. He was bankrupt. He does this shit on purpose. Exactly. Exactly, Josh. Loopholes. Fucking loopholes. By the way, congratulations, Jeremy R. Congratulations. You just passed your comp TIA and yeah, boy. Give my man a round of applause. Give my man a round of applause. You will now be able to make a boatload of cash, sir, whether you work for a company or you go and do your own thing, man. You know, congratulations on that. But yes, loopholes that he already said he exploited as a businessman that the Democrats, Hillary and all of those guys complain about. But they're the ones who signed that shit into law and allowed him to use those loopholes. But, you know, I digress. Let's get back to these tariffs. Does it make sense to you guys, right? Yeah, let's just say Canada. We're buying all of Canada's bullshit-ass crude that they can't even refine. And we're bringing it here, we're refining it, and we're using it. Nobody wants to buy Canada's oil because it's hard to refine. We do because our refineries can do it. So we're doing all of that, right? But then when we start to export things to Canada or whatever it is, Canada levies a 25% tax on us when we import things into their country. Is that shit fucking fair? We don't levy any fucking tariffs against Canada for anything they send here. Hell, we helping them out. Same thing with Mexico. Anything we send to Mexico, we import to Mexico, there's a fucking 25 or 30% tariff on that shit. I can't remember which one it was. But we don't levy any tariffs against Mexico when they import shit here. Same thing with Vietnam. They levy, I think it was either 46 or 64. I can't remember. But they levy a heavy fucking tariff against the United States for anything we import to Vietnam. But anything Vietnam sends here, we don't levy any tariffs against or any tax against. Is that shit fair? Is that shit fair? That's like me having a Tyson fight, right? I'm having a Tyson fight. In order for you to come to my house, you got to give me $20 to come watch the fight. But you had a Tyson fight at your house. You don't charge me shit. Eventually, you'll be like, no, fuck that. That nigga always charging me $20 to come to his house to watch the fight. I'm charging him $20 to come watch the fight, too. And then I get all indignant and mad because you charging me $20 to watch a fight. It's the same thing. That's why he's calling it reciprocal tariffs. Most of it is just we're matching the tariff that they're putting on us, which basically makes it a fucking wash. And if it makes it a wash, we're not spending as much money on importing goods to those countries. That means we get to save that money that we would otherwise pay in taxes. So if Canada got a 25% tax on us and we levy a 25% tax back on Canada, guess what? It's a fucking wash. It's a wash. We getting it right back. Now, like I tell you guys all the time, scared money don't make no money. Right? Scared money don't make no money. You know what I mean? See something. Okay. Like I said, scared money don't make no money, okay? Remember that. And people out here like wanting to look the other way at all these other countries. You tell these people that shit, they like, so what? Like, why we fucking with them? Like, yo, we've been kicking out all this extra fucking money. We've been kicking out all this extra fucking money to them, and we not responding in kind. Nah. Like I said, that's the equivalent to the bully holding you upside down and shaking you for change. Nah, nope. You ain't getting my fucking lunch money no more. That's like a chick. You took a chick to fucking Cheesecake Factory and you let her get popcorn shrimp and strawberry lemonades and Oreo cheesecakes and miso salmons and Thai lettuce wraps, and she done racked up a bill. You pay that bill and she don't give you no ass. You pay the bill, she don't give you no ass. That's what it is. It's a shakedown. They shaking us down and we just like, oh, okay, okay, all right, I mean, it's okay. No, fuck that. Put that money back in our pockets. If Vietnam is levying a tax against us, levy that fucking tax back. Because at least we not paying that money out. And who knows how much money we're paying in tariffs every year. Who knows? Somebody look that up for me. How much money is the United States paying in tariffs to other countries every year? I guarantee it's some astronomical amount of money. So imagine at the bare minimum doing a reciprocal tax and we get that money back in our pocket. At the bare minimum. It's got to be something crazy. Rudy said we're getting shook down by soft nations. I don't know if this shit gonna work. Our like manufacturing jobs have like been non-existent for the most part, especially when it comes to like steel and stuff like that. However, not only is Trump using this as a way of getting that money back, he's using this shit as a bargaining chip. It's a tool, right? Because for one, we got all the leverage. We have all the leverage. We're the country that spends the most money on importing goods. We're the biggest consumer in the world. And like I said before, a lot of these countries' GDP and their way of life is determined on how much money America, or how much goods and services America buys from that particular country. You think Vietnam can survive without America buying their shit? Canada can't. They acting like they can, but they can't. Maybe China can, because China be stealing our shit. They be stealing intellectual property and selling that shit for like pennies on the dollar on Temu and shit. Niggas be wearing Temu out, don't they? But these other countries can't. Mexico. Yeah, they export to other countries, but nowhere near as much as they export or sell to America. So they can sit there and bitch and moan all they want. This shit, we got the leverage. We got the leverage. Period. But two, you got companies coming back to America. Ford, Honda, but didn't Honda just put their Civic plant? Honda just put their Civic plant back in America, right? Where they put that Civic plant at? Was it North Carolina or something like that? Where'd that Civic plant go? Thanks, Justine. $79 billion in tariffs in 2023. $79 billion in tariffs in 2023. That's a lot of money. So imagine them tariffs over time, racking up. We getting that money back. We saving $79 billion a year just in getting the money back from the tariffs that's been taken from us, or the money that's been taken from us through tariffs. Not to mention, what was that shit? $979 billion that we were given to NATO. If we get out the NATO deal, I'm not sure if he really pulled out of it or not. But it's $979 billion is what we give to NATO every fucking year. But y'all want to blame the inflation and recession on Trump? No. It's bad leadership over the years. They complaining because the news told them to complain. These people out here complaining and marching in the street and doing all this fucking reckless stuff because the government and the news, the media told them to complain. Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous, absorbent. Is that the right word? They pay themselves a ridiculous salary, okay? Absorbent. I'm sure that's the word. Every year. And like I said, scared money don't make no money. If the shit don't work, then the shit don't work. Trump, you going to take your licks for that shit if the shit don't work. But if the shit pans out and the shit works, we all winning. We're all winning. You got to shoot the shot. Everybody complaining about being broke and having to pay all this money. Trump like, yo, I could probably get rid of the income tax if we levy tariffs against these countries who whooping our ass in tariffs. But y'all niggas too scared. Y'all niggas too scared to bust a move. Complaining, but then when somebody come up with a plan, you too scared to implement the plan because what? Convenience. You talk about the sweatshops and the little people the little kids that's in there working in them sweatshops, right? But then when Trump talk about tariffs, then you start becoming a fucking businessman and economist talking about, well, I mean, you know, we get these products cheaper from China. Yeah, from the sweatshop hands that you're against. I think it's worth a shot. Is it going to work? I don't know. But I'm optimistic. It ain't like Canada trying to do that shit where they ain't got no leverage around the world for nothing. They're going to fail. But because of our buying power in the United States, a lot of these countries are going to have to capitulate. A lot of these countries are going to have to fucking fall in line. You know why? Because at the end of the day, if they lose American revenue, their country going to fail. Their country going to go bankrupt. And I'm not exaggerating that. We got to stop letting these other countries and leaders take advantage of us. And let's not pretend certain families in the United States don't get a couple little dollars on the back end of those tariffs. So you know what I say? Salute to that shit. Salute to that shit. So let's check this shit out. It's a 2-minute clip. It looked like a panel. It's got Shank on there, and I guess it's from Pierce Morgan's show. It's got Shank, some chick I ain't never seen before, Carrie Lake, and another chick I ain't never seen before. So I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's see. They're saying that this is the best explanation of Trump's tariffs. Let's just see what she said.
What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things, like that countries stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, screw you, I am waging war. I'm waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class. And you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class. Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at 0.
And that's another question I got. If tariffs don't work, right? If tariffs don't work, why are other countries using tariffs? Can somebody explain that to me? If tariffs don't work, what about the tariffs that Trump enacted in his first term that Biden never took out, or whoever was running the fucking White House never reversed? Is it because it works? We know who this country's beholden to. They're beholden to the bankers. They're beholden to a certain class of people, a certain dynasty of a family. It makes them no money if they spread the wealth out. Like I said, if they don't work, then why every other country in the world levying tariffs against us if it doesn't work? Let's keep it pushing. What else she said?
Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they have already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go screw itself. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here.
I gotta give it that. And I gotta give it this. Yeah, she might be the white Sonny Johnson. I'm just playing, Sonny. I'm just playing, Sonny. Oh, man. Who is that lady? Somebody let me know. Anyway, so she has a point. She's right. She's right. This is what I've been saying for the last, fucking 30 minutes. That's what I've been saying for the last 30 minutes. Will the tariffs work? I don't know, but they seem to be working so far, contrary to what the mainstream media is trying to tell you. They seem to be working so far. I mean, what more, but the thing is, right, they'll listen to what she just said. They'll listen to what I said, and then they'll try to figure out their mental gymnastics to still make their ideology fit. You wouldn't in your personal life let somebody take advantage of you like that. So why should the country let other countries take advantage of us like this? Explain that to me. Stop being a bunch of bitches and let's just see if this shit work. Because if it work, we all gonna win. Shit, I don't want no more income taxes taken out. They take 30 to 40% of our income out in taxes, and we don't even see where it goes or if the shit is even going to anything conducive. And like I said before, and this goes to all the trolls and all the people in here being willfully ignorant. Can the government spend your money better than you can spend your money? Can the government spend your money better than you can spend your money? Like, just answer that one question. We pay taxes all year around. Every time you get a check, they done took out a certain amount of money out of your check, right? Social Security that we ain't gonna fucking see. FICA and all this other shit. And then at the end of the year, you got to file taxes for them to be like, we didn't rape you enough. We need another $2,000 from you. We need another $5,000 from you. I did a video where I had to go pay $5,000 to the fucking tax man. I'm like, nigga, for what? But this might be a chance for us to not have to do this shit no more, to be prosperous and put our money into businesses that we might want to open, or our kids' college tuition, maybe home improvements, or maybe our fucking house. We pay a down payment on our house in taxes every year. What's the average down payment on a house? 10 grand? If you put down 3% or whatever it is, you got to put down 3%. We pay, in taxes, we pay the down payment of a house. If the shit worked, then we all win. So if this shit working, we winning, right? What y'all going to do who's against Orange Man bad? Y'all going to donate the money that you saved over the over the course of a year because no income on taxes, no income on overtime, no income on tips. You going to donate that shit to a good cause and protest the Trump? No, you not. You will put that shit down on a trip, a fucking new car, probably a Tesla with y'all bitch asses. Y'all gonna go spend that money like it ain't shit happened, and not acknowledge who put in the work to do it. Now, is this shit gonna be a easy go? Is it gonna be an easy road to hoe? No, it's not. It's not. They're calling it a trade war. Yeah, it's a fucking trade war. It's a war of attrition. And guess what? We got so much leverage that a lot of these countries ain't going to be able to hang. Maybe for a few months they might be able to hang and resist, but after a couple of months they gonna have to they like, you know what? Just go ahead and give him what he asking for. Give him what he asking for, because they won't be able to survive without the United States purchasing power. So y'all keep bitching about Trump and these tariffs. Like I said, scared money don't make money. We're gonna figure out if this shit work. If it don't work, then Trump, we gonna be like, yo, you fucked up. But we gotta try something, right? It's a sound idea to me. See, people keep forgetting how much money we spend around the world every year. People forget how many countries who got tariffs on us can't survive without us. On paper, the shit might look like, oh, this might not be a good idea. But when you look at real world application, you're like, damn, no, maybe we might be able to pull this shit off. We might be able to pull this off. I never seen so many people who want to. You got Bush in office and all this other shit. The system is against us, down with the system. Now it's something because Trump in office, don't touch my government. Don't touch my government. What the fuck? What is that? What is that about? So, like I said, I hope these tariffs work, man, because I live here in America. I live here in America, okay? Greatest country in the fucking world. Because, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to, this shit ain't America, okay? Come on, yo, get a hold of your app, Elon. Oh, there we go. Shit ain't America. There we go. So, like I said, I live here. I need this shit to work. See, here go Denzel. Denzel, you missed it, Denzel. You know, and he coming in here, he coming in here respectfully. Where'd that shit go? Where'd Denzel go? Where did Denzel tweet go? Yeah, we know they tried it in the 20s, Denzel. You know what? But it didn't lead to a Great Depression. We were already in the Great Depression when they tried to reverse course and go back to tariffs. The tariffs didn't lead to the Great Depression. We were already in it. We was already in it. Y'all gotta get y'all shit right, yo. We was already in it. You know what I mean? And again, if all these other countries are levying tariffs against us to fucking sustain them, why can't we do it? It means tariffs work, right? But if all the countries band together and resist, they can't. They can't. You know why? Because they're not a united front like the United States. At the end of the day, those countries got to look out for themselves. And there's a lot of weak links in those countries banding together. Simple as that. We was good until the creature from Jekyll Island. Again, yeah, the Roaring '20s was when we didn't have tariffs in place. It wasn't so roaring when that depression came, was it? It wasn't so roaring when they started outsourcing jobs that we were doing here. That's what fucked us up. We were already too fucked up to even try to go back to tariffs at the point, because we were already broke. We were already bankrupt. We was already in a bad spot. Try to reverse course. The shit might have been cool for a little bit, but time showed that it wasn't the best thing to do. Same thing under Obama, which I think all that shit was by design in the first place. That whole recession in 2008, that shit was all by design. Period. Just like this recession here with Joe Nicholson, all by design. Crash the system for a great reset. But like I said, I live here. I need to be optimistic about it. There is a method to his madness. It does make sense in my opinion. But again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think probably by this time next year, maybe we'll see the benefits. All right? We'll see. But the country's going to band. They're not going to band together, because the weakest countries are going to fucking deviate because they can't survive. These other countries ain't going to try to help fucking, I don't know, Mumbai or whoever stay afloat while they fight America's tariffs. No, they got to look out for their own country. They'll fall, and then I think that we're going to be in a good spot. But it's like I said, it's a war of attrition. The shit ain't just going to be fucking hunky-dory off the rip. But right now, it seems like it's working. Because like I said, like a tool, you got other countries you got other companies coming back to America with their companies, with their manufacturing. Like I said, it's Honda just put a Civic plant back in America. Look at this. Not only is Ford putting a plant back in America, check out what the fuck he talking about.
Exactly right. For the next couple of months, we're going to offer our customers the same deal that our employees get. And as you say, that's worth thousands of dollars. You come into our store, you get employee pricing. This is kind of to call a little bit of a timeout. We've heard some uncertainty from our customers, and we want them to be assured that Ford, the most American auto company, is going to do right by them, as are our dealers. We make the most cars here. We employ the most. We export the most. And so we here at Ford, we're in a good position to address customers' concern and give them a really great deal on a great vehicle. So
Ford on board. Not only are they bringing manufacturing jobs back here, that and bringing other plants back here, they're like, you know what? Until this shit get off the ground, we're going to give employee discounts. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is probably like $3,000 to $4,000 off the car, something like that. Might be a little bit more, but $3,000 to $4,000 off the car. Trust and believe, that ain't hurting Ford's bottom line. Promise you, not. It's not hurting Ford's bottom line. But they're on board with it. Honda's on board with it. Kohler's on board with it. Apple just what Apple give us? They pledged $600 billion to American industry. $600 billion with a B. American companies are starting to come back, just like they were doing in 2016 that the news don't want to tell you about. The news wants you to forget. Ford the only motor company not to take bailouts. Exactly. Already over $2 trillion or $1 trillion, somewhere $1 to $2 trillion invested back into America, because Trump used the tariffs as a bargaining chip to bring companies back here. Not only the tariffs, he promised to lower the corporate tax rate and the red tape, so that we can still compete, or our companies can still compete on the world stage. Just like he did in 2016, that the news and the media and the collective wants you to fucking forget about. Or a lot of you never even knew. Just like y'all didn't know that Trump had tariffs enacted back in his first term that Biden didn't didn't reverse, or whoever was running the country didn't reverse. Why? Was it because they were working? Salute to Ford for that, and I guarantee it, other companies. I keep saying countries. Other companies are going to follow suit. Hyundai investing, Taiwanese chip making companies, Honda, Ford, even in the playing field. Yeah. People, yeah, exactly. He a businessman. And guess what? You need a businessman to run the United States. You know why? Because the United States is traded on Dun & Bradstreet. United States of America Corporation is what it's called, on Dun & Bradstreet. But again, we're going to find out. Trump standing 10 toes down on what he said in the fucking 90s, and now he's standing 10 toes down on it today. So we're going to see what happens, man. We're going to see how this shit plays out. I hope the shit works. You know what I mean? But guess what? I'm optimistic. I am optimistic. I'm your crazy wild-eyed conspiracy theorist Hotep, and I am optimistic that we going to be straight. We going to be all right. Anyway, let's move on. This is from the Augusta Press. A lot of y'all seen this. This shit is crazy. Let me make it a little bigger for y'all so y'all can. Boom. There we go. New detail. RCSO releases new details on man's arrest for leaving kids at a McDonald's to go job hunting. So this is down in your neck of the woods protocol. He down there in Georgia. I think he in Augusta, Georgia. Apparently, this guy took his 10-year-old, his 1-year-old, and his 6-year-old, and he left them at the McDonald's play place to, quote, go for a job interview. Now, on his face, when I first heard it and people were reporting, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Right? I'm like, that's fucking stupid, for one, because the world is nuts. You don't know who's going to come in at McDonald's, right, and snatch your fucking kids up. You got Karens all over the place that's going to call the police. And then you leaving a 10-year-old to watch a 6- and a 1-year-old, which is nonsensical. That's the reason why they got certain laws against leaving your kids in the house. Now, if you're a 10-year-old, you can stay in the house by yourself. At least here in Maryland, you can stay in the house by yourself for an hour and a half. I think it's 8 and up can stay in the house for like an hour and a half. I think like when you get 12, it's like 2 hours or something like that. But then when you're 16, it don't fucking matter. You can stay all overnight by yourself. Anyway, this guy here apparently left his kids in McDonald's so he can go on a job interview. I'm like, damn. I'm thinking, because it tugs on your heartstrings, or it tugged on your heartstrings in a minute, right? For a minute, because it was like, damn, this dude trying to get a job. He trying to make sure these kids eat. You know, you show up to a job interview with the kids. That's not a good look. You know, that shows that maybe you might be unreliable, because if you ain't got babysitters for a fucking interview, then you ain't gonna have babysitters to come to work. He trying to make something happen, right? But apparently, he was bullshitting. He was bullshitting. He was bullshitting. So let's read on. Augusta Press viral story on the arrest of Chris Lewis for leaving 3 kids at a local McDonald's to go job hunting has sparked debate and sympathy across the country. On Wednesday, in response to an outcry of requests from the local and national media, Richmond County authorities released a full report Wednesday with more details into their investigation, saying that the father was not really looking for a job while the children were at McDonald's, but he had been job hunting earlier that day. Lewis, 24-year-old father from Augusta, Georgia, was arrested on March 22nd after leaving his 3 children, ages 10, 6, and 1, at a McDonald's with a playground. Telling deputies that he was attending a job interview nearby, Lewis did not have a car, walked his children to the McDonald's, and felt it was a safer place to leave them for a short time. He would be leaving for a short time. He would be at the interview. After he returned to pick up picked him up. A customer at the McDonald's called the police, and Lewis was arrested and charged with deprivation of a minor. So he told the police, look, I had a job interview. I thought that this was just a safer place. You could tell us a lie off the rip, right? Because it's like, well, lady might just left him in the house. Like, you might as well just left him in the fucking house. Why would you take him to McDonald's to go to a job interview when you could have, the safest place for them was probably in their own house? Let's read on. Captain Danny Whitehead conducted a follow-up investigation and noted inconsistencies regarding the whereabouts of Lewis during the period when the children were left unattended at the restaurant. The 10-year-old told officers that she, her father, and her two siblings had walked to McDonald's from the Hendricks apartments. She said, left to deliver. What? Why did? Okay. Anyway. Somebody need to edit this better. She said left to deliver a backpack to Hendricks apartments and told her he would return shortly. The child also mentioned that her father frequently left them alone. Yo, kids ain't got no filter, yo. Yo, kids don't have no filter. Yeah, he leaves alone all the time. Mm-hmm. You gotta be careful, yo, when your kids is young. They will tell every goddamn thing. Two witnesses both reported arriving at the restaurant at approximately 4:30 p.m. Saturday and observing the children there without adult supervision. They recalled that the father was on the phone with someone and was overhearing saying he needed to drop something off. Damn, they was fucking eavesdropping. The witnesses stated that after this, the father left McDonald's, leaving the children behind. They estimated the children were alone for approximately an hour and a half. That's wild. The 10-year-old daughter contacted her mother on social media at approximately 6 p.m. What time did he drop them off? 4:30? Okay, so at approximately 6 p.m. That's crazy. The mother, Lisette Picardo, arrived at McDonald's at approximately 6:12 p.m. She advised that Mr. Lewis was supposed to deliver a backpack to her mother at the Hendricks apartments and had been told that he must take the children with him. A sheriff's report says. Ricardo immediately called Mr. Lewis, who answered and stated that he was on his way back to McDonald's from the Hendricks. Lewis arrived at the McDonald's approximately 6:18, still in possession of the backpack. Jesus, man. He told Picardo that he had been trying to find her to give her the backpack. She reminded him that he was not supposed to leave the children unattended. No shit. Lewis claimed he and the children were at the McDonald's earlier that day because he had filled out a job application at the Western Bank Inn, located adjacent to the McDonald's, and was waiting for a call back for a possible interview. He said he left to deliver the backpack to the Hendricks, but during that time, he lost his ID and another card and had been retracing his steps to find them. So I guess that ID and shit was more important than your kids, allegedly, bro. He just digging himself a deeper hole in this story. To verify this, Captain Whitehead visited the West Bank Inn and spoke with the manager. She confirmed that Lewis came in on March 22nd and completed a job application. She also conducted an informal interview with him on that date, which means that he just walked in there on a whim. This shit wasn't, he just walked in there and was like, y'all hiring? He filled out an application. She asked him a few questions, which probably only took like 15 minutes. Oh, boy. Let me see. When asked if Lewis would be expecting a call back for an informal interview, she stated no. The manager provided video surveillance footage showing Lewis arriving at 1:12 p.m. and leaving at 1:37 p.m. This nigga, man. This dude. Based on the video evidence and the timeline provided by all parties involved, it was determined that Lewis was not engaged in a job interview or application process during the time the children were left unattended. Furthermore, by his own admission, he was walking between McDonald's and the Hendricks apartments on foot. During that period, a report says the distance between these two locations are approximately a quarter mile. That's still kind of far on foot. Quarter mile on foot? Anyway. It was determined that a misdemeanor charge of, that's only misdemeanor? Interesting. Of deprivation of a minor was appropriate to ensure the welfare of the children and facilitate a review of the matter by the court. The sheriff's office said this charge ensures that all parties have an opportunity to appear before a judge to determine if the children are receiving appropriate care. Question is why the little girl had to reach out to her mother on social media and well, I guess the little girl didn't have that's okay. She didn't have her mother's phone number. That's interesting. Maybe she had Wi-Fi on her phone and that's how she contacted him, I guess. I don't know. Lewis arrest sparked widespread public outcry nationwide, with many arguing that he should not be criminally charged for trying to provide for his family. The case has garnered attention from people on both sides of the political spectrum, with former NFL player Antonio Brown setting up a GoFundMe campaign to help Lewis. The campaign has raised over $39,000. That is crazy. With contributions coming from people who sympathize with Lewis' situation and believe the system unfairly punishes those in poverty. Now, I'm assuming that the GoFundMe and all of this outcry was prior to the real story coming out. Many supporters have expressed frustration over the cost of living and the challenges faced by low-income families. The story went viral on social media platforms like X, drawing attention to a broader issue of poverty and the difficulties of escaping it in the U.S. So, I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened, okay? I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened, okay? This nigga right here went and got some pussy. That nigga went and got some cheeks. He went and got some cheeks. He dropped the kids off at the play place, because I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that whoever he was getting them cheeks from probably came back to his place, or him and his girlfriend's place, or whatever. And he didn't have no way to take the kids. He took the kids down the street to McDonald's, and he went and got them some cheeks. That's why he didn't leave them home, because he needed the house to get some cakes. And that 10-year-old be snitching. Yeah, mommy. Miss Shonda from next door was over here for like an hour in the bedroom. That's the only thing I can think of. I think this dude lost his head chasing a piece of tail. He wasn't out because, like they said, what they say he dropped when they say the kids got there. Where is it at? They saw the kids at 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. He went to that. He went and asked if they was hiring at 1:00. He had some ass lined up. Shorty probably came back to his chick house, who was whatever, Miss Picante, or whatever her name is. He got some cakes in the apartment. Left the kids at McDonald's. Probably got them a Happy Meal to share between the three. And then he came back to get the kids. That's what I think happened. That's what I think happened. Boy, you know that 1-year-old diaper is shit. Especially that he left him some McDonald's food. If he left him some McDonald's food, that diaper was fucking reeking. Now, like I said, at first, I'm sitting there like, damn, that's a hell of a dilemma, right? I'm not sitting there taking up for the nigga. I'm just sitting there to myself. I'm like, yo, damn, it's kind of fuck. He probably, I'm like, I'm asking questions like, is he a single dad? You know, like, is he, you know, like, did the mother, is she not in the picture? Did she leave and go move to fucking, I don't know, Atlanta instead of Augusta? Like, those are questions that I had because I was like, damn, you know, like, you can't be leaving your kids just anywhere, you know? Like, even if you're going to leave them at a McDonald's because you think it's the safest place for them to be, which I like, why don't you just leave them at home, right? If you're going to leave your kids at McDonald's, like, at least talk to the manager, like, hey, yo, look, I got a job interview, and I can't take my kids there because it's going to be a bad look, you know? Can you help me out? Like, can I just leave them here for, like, you know, just for 30 minutes? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that's what you got to do. This nigga just left him there. Like, he do that shit all the time, apparently. You do that shit all the time, apparently. According to the 10-year-old girl. Oh, my gosh, yo. But I think that's what happened. That nigga, some acid came through. Yeah, he wanted to get for a minute, or she been putting it on him when the girlfriend at work or some shit. And that nigga just he went for it. He went for that shit. Dumbass nigga, yo. Dumbass nigga, yo. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Shit is crazy to me. I can't believe people, they're not smart enough to, like, not do that shit. Like, how you just not smart enough to, like, hey, yeah, no, I got my kids, y'all. That shit, it's a no-go today. You know what I mean? It's a no-go today. I got my kids with me. Nah, this nigga he just wanted to risk it all. This nigga wanted to risk it all. For what? For what? Now this nigga about to have a misdemeanor. He ain't gonna be able to get no job. His name Mud now. His name is Mud now. I'm looking for this other video. Bear with me, people. I be trying to bookmark him, but I don't see it. I know I sent. Oh, you know what? Oh, I don't know where I sent this shit to. Who did I send it to? Ah, boy. Oh, I had to be here. Damn, I can't find it now. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Wonder why it's not here no more. Scroll back up real quick. Like I said, I'm sitting here under the weather. That's why I'm, you know, in the studio today, in the Griff Cave today. One of them YJs at the hotel or something got me sick. One of them YJs got your boy sick. I can't find it. That's fucked up. No, that's not it. Try it again. Damn, can't find that shit. Yeah, that shit was pretty fucking funny. It was a song that I had that, like, I guess it would be a great what's the word? a great idea for guys to do when you get like that. I guess I'll just tell you because I can't find this shit. I don't know why I can't find this shit, but I can't find it, and I'm getting mad that I can't find it. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's... No, it's not there. Oh, well, anyway. Actually, let me see. Bear with me, people. They might have took it down for real. Damn. Well, the timing of it is all fucked up now, so. Guys, you get that look, I'm going to just say it out loud. Guys, if you find yourself in a dilemma where he's like, you just so pressed. You find yourself so pressed with some ass that you willing to leave your kids in a shady McDonald's. Just take about a few minutes. Go in the bathroom. Grab you your best lotion. And just rub it out, guys.
Pause.
Just rub it out.
Pause.
Just rub it out, okay?
Pause.
After you do that, all of those fucking deviant things you was thinking about, that shit just goes out the window. Now you got clarity. Now you just like, that's a bad fucking idea. What the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck? Like, you get what I'm saying? Just get the demon out, and then after that, you can think clearly and not be out here fucking your life up like this guy did. That nigga fucked his life up. I guarantee it, Joe. I guarantee it. I'm 99.999% certain that guy ruined possibly his relationship, whatever the girl is, and all that other shit, and the kids, and this nigga in jail because he was pressed to get some ass. That's why the backpack wasn't dropped off to the mother or the grandmother. Niggas, yo. Niggas. Then he must have been broke because you went across the street to the hotel and like put in an application. Nigga, why don't you just get a hotel room? But you know, he must have had no cash or something. Josh, get the demon semen out. Pause. Who's this? Oh, why is that so small? All right, there we go. Elon with the space and save some astronauts. Yeah, allegedly, because I don't think that they were in orbit. I guess you'll say. Yes, allegedly SpaceX went up there and saved some fucking astronauts. That shit looked like 2000s fucking CGI. That shit like some Beowulf CGI. But yeah, we ain't even talking about that shit. MC Liquid. That's all we know. You just in here just to be in here, Then again, I see why. You know what? I take that back, MC. I got the wrong title for the fucking stream up there. I got the wrong title. I'll give you some bail on that, bro. I'll give you some bail. All right? That's my fault. I got the wrong goddamn title up. But regardless, that shit happened. It happened. So I take that back. We're going to change the title right here because that's my fault. All right, I fixed it. I fixed it. But yeah, it happened, allegedly. I think it happened in the pool in Houston. I think it happened at NASA in the pool in Houston. That's what I think it happened. But anyway. Let's get back on track. Oh man. So check this out. Get this all queued up. So this guy went to a Department of Education, I guess hearing. I guess he's a pastor here in Baltimore. And he's, I guess, explaining himself to the police. I don't know why the police got called. I actually know the gentleman in the suit. That's family. But all I can tell you is that this guy is preaching to the choir, but listen to what he's saying because it's 1,000% true.
Go to white school boards in the suburbs, and the white people who know that I'm coming, because I may advertise it, they let me speak.
We appreciate that.
But the black people in my own community that look like me, y'all have a black governor, a black mayor, predominantly black school board, black officers, and the guy who has a differing viewpoint can't speak in your school board meeting? You are defrauding me of my freedom of speech.
No, we're not. You're talking, right?
No, I'm not able to be heard on record. And that's the problem. This is the issue with why we have failing schools in Baltimore. Because no one wants to change. It's protecting the status quo. Let's protect the CEO of Baltimore Public Schools, who makes $479,000 a year. The kids can't read, but she makes $500,000 a year. This is not right. No, take me out. It is necessary. I can't go, I've come too far to go too easily.
That's your choice.
If you want to arrest me, you can, brother. If you arrest my speech, arrest my hands. I'm not carrying anything but a microphone and a Bible in my book bag. That's all I got. And y'all silence the black preacher. I go to white.
No, like I said, that guy, he's preaching to the choir, right? That's family. I know how my family think. He on that same type of time that God's on, right? However, he can't express that while he's there on official police business. So apparently this guy, they was asking him to be removed from the hearing. They wouldn't let him talk, but he's got a point, right? Like white neighborhoods, they let him talk. They hear him out, whether they're going to listen or anything, it just, remains to be seen, but they hear him out. You go down to Baltimore City Department of Education and all that other stuff, nah. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say. And if you go against the status quo or against what they think, then they ask you to leave. They ask you to leave like liberals do. Like leftists do. They ask you to leave because they don't want to hear your point of view. Because as far as they're concerned, you're a black man and you should be in lockstep with them. He's right. We got I don't know how much money in missing funds that's supposed to go to Baltimore City Public Schools. I know at one point some of the revenue or portion of the revenue or the tax revenue of the Horseshoe Casino here was supposed to go to Baltimore City Public Schools. That shit ain't happened. Where's that money? I'll tell you, it's in the pockets of those people. The lady that make $479,000 a year. But he's right. And like I said, the police officers, they know, they agree with him. Allegedly, I'll say allegedly, they agree with him. But, they got to do a job. They like, yo, they want you to leave. You got to go. But I guarantee they agree with him. But he's right. He's right. He in there. If he in there, he start talking and those other parents start hearing him talk. Now your useful idiots are starting to think for themselves, like, wait a minute, he got a point. You know what I mean? Salute to this man. Hopefully he keep talking. Hopefully he keep going around the state or around the city and talking. And hopefully that's not the first time he goes in there to try to talk some sense into some people. You know? Steph said he's not supposed to be there to begin with. According to them. But, I mean, he's right. But the thing is, right, this is the other thing. I don't know where his political leanings are. But you'll have people rally against this shit, right? Baltimore, the schools are a mess. The schools are abhorrent. The schools, they're not geared toward helping our children. They don't have any air conditioning. They don't have any heat. These kids don't have any textbooks. But then they'll turn around and get mad about the abolishment of the Department of Education. It's a fucking mystery to me. They'll turn around and get mad about the abolishment of the Department of Education. I mean, if you're going to go all in, you got to go all in, people. That's the cognitive dissonance. Now, like I said, I don't know what his politics are. I don't know what that guy's politics are. He might be a never Trumper. Maybe he's against the Department of Education getting shut down, but at the same time, he sees that the Department of Education is failing Baltimore City public schools. I just thought this was a cool, not cool, but I thought this was a good video to look at, because you get to see firsthand somebody actually complaining about how the schools are here in Baltimore. They're terrible. You see my video, the video I made with a kid was like 62 out of 100, and I forgot what he was. He was 62 out of like, I think 100 kids to graduate. But his GPA was 1.3. He missed 272 days of school. And they knocked his ass all the way back to the 9th grade. He was a senior in high school. They knocked his ass all the way back to 9th grade. Matter of fact, we'll watch that real quick. It's one of them timeless videos. Find it real fast. But like videos like this is the shit that get buried under the algorithm because they don't want to hear it. Here it goes.
My question is, how?
He's stressed, and I am too. Like, I told him I probably would start crying. Like, my son is, I don't know what to do for him.
This coming June is when Tiffany France thought her son would receive his diploma.
And I'm just trying to fight. He like, Mom, what was all this for? What did I do this for? Like, don't he get a chance? Do he get a chance?
But after 4 years of high school, this mom just learned her 17-year-old has to start over. He's been moved back to 9th grade.
The school failed him. The school failed.
In his first 3 years at Augusta Fells, he failed 22 classes and was late or absent 272 times. But his transcripts show his class rank is 62 out of 120.
I wish I would have came home with some shit like that. Y'all see this nigga? That's my dad in his 50s. Imagine me bringing home a failing report card in his prime. I promise you I wouldn't have lived to tell about it. And Mom, where were you? You telling me in 4 years you ain't seen not one report card? You had not one parent-teacher conference? You didn't get one of them automated, your kid wasn't at school today telephone calls? And don't let me get it started on Baltimore City school system. We got this thing here called social promotion. Basically, even if the kid failing, they'll pass him along in hopes that he'll academically catch up and he'll be able to graduate with his friends in the rest of his class when he's supposed to. The dumbest shit in the world. The school had his part in failing this kid. But Mom, where were you? They said in 3 years he failed 22 classes and was absent 272 times, and you didn't know? Look, I can go on all day about how the school system failed this kid, how the mother failed this kid, why we need fathers in the house. But the bottom line is this. We can't depend on the teachers in the school system to teach our kids. We have to do that. Learning doesn't start and stop in school. As you see in this story, clearly the school don't care. There's 58 other kids dumber than him. To no fault of their own, I'm sure. This is a heartbreaking story. This kid's 17 years old and he has to start from the 9th grade. Now, what are the odds that he finishes school? You gotta do better, folks. Get involved in your kids' lives if you ain't. Raise them to become better, productive citizens. Raise them to become better than you.
Wow, right? That shit is wild. But she blamed the schools and shit. Hey, shorty, where was you? I'm sure they called you. And I guess right now the kid will be graduating again. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know if this kid, there was never a follow-up or anything like that. I don't know if this kid dropped out of school or what. Hopefully he didn't. And he trudged through it to get, you know, a degree or get his GED or something. You know? But yeah, it's a failure all the way around. You're right, it's a failure all the way around. Failure all the way around. But like I said in that video, guys, don't depend on these schools to teach your kids. That's why we champion homeschooling. Be in your kid's ear. Be in your kid's ear.
We need to understand the real reason why USAID is in Africa. And not just USAID, but other NGOs. You look at DFID, which is the British equivalent, and many other smaller ones. Their sole purpose was to act as if they're coming to rescue Africa. They are coming in claiming that they're introducing grassroots initiatives that are going to help the people. And so they use that as a way to go into the most remote parts of Africa. When you look at it on paper, it all looks really good. But they're actually wolf in sheep's clothing. They are using that open access sounding humanitarian to constantly destabilize governments. I can tell you right now, the majority of African leaders, and not just African leaders, but leaders in the developing world, are celebrating the exit of USAID. If you think about it, their sole purpose, for example, filling in the gaps in healthcare and education, where is the change? Show me one country that USAID was in and education improved. Show me what country where USAID was in and healthcare improved. The social services they're bringing, it's peanuts. The American taxpayer needs to know the billions of dollars that are being given to USAID, a fraction is making it to the people.
That lady right. What we've been trying to tell people. That's what we've been trying to tell people. U.S. aid ain't aiding shit. It's aiding in regime change. Aiding in money laundering and shit like that. That African lady was on it. I don't know what country she's from, but that African lady was on it. But you have a bunch of people that don't hear that. They'll turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to it. All because Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. They go off of buzzwords. The Democratic Party is good with branding. They are. They get those buzz terms out there and people just eat that shit up. They eat that shit up. This lady was speaking the truth, man. Not to mention, again, how much money was USA putting out every year in bullshit. It's about to go back into the American people and the American economy. Right. Like you sprinkle a little goodwill in there, but then the rest of that shit is just fucking shit. The rest of that shit is shit. But you got elders out here speaking on this shit, and people just willfully ignorant, yo. Willfully ignorant. Excuse me. I'm about to make me some more tea. Go lay my black ass down. Lay my black ass down. We gonna end off with this right here, guys. We gonna end off with this. So the lady asked Chat GPT. So this is what we're gonna do first. I want you hold on. Let's do this. Let's compare. We'll look at that later. Sorry. Let's do this. It looked like NYPD might have tampered with Luigi Mangioni's gun, but you know. All right, guys. So I want you to listen to this, and then we're gonna go to this one video. So this is Paul Harvey, and Paul Harvey did this thing that's called "If I Were the Devil." Listen to this.
If I were the devil, if I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. Paul Harvey. Good day.
Crazy, right? Crazy. TikTok ban incoming. I'm not even live over there. I need to figure that out. You know, cool to yeah. Paul Harvey. That's bars right there. That Paul Harvey joint is bars. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna compare it with this one right here. So, a lady asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation? So let's jump into this real quick. Let me make this a little bigger. Too big. There we go. right, let's get it.
GPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation without them even knowing it?
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I'd come with convenience. I'd give them everything they wanted and strip them of everything they needed. I'd make them feel connected, but completely alone, endlessly entertained, but quietly empty. I'd blur the lines between truth and opinion until nothing meant anything. I'd teach them to chase dopamine, not purpose, to worship self, but loathe who they are. I wouldn't destroy them with war. I'd destroy them with apathy. I'd keep them distracted, numb, scrolling, always scrolling. I'd dismantle the family by redefining it. Make fathers optional, mothers exhausted, and children confused. I'd hand them a phone before they could speak in full sentences. And I'd watch their minds rot slowly, sweetly, silently. And the most brilliant part? They'd never know it was me. They'd call it freedom.
ChatGPT, if you were the devil...
Bruh. ChatGPT been acting like a therapist lately with the answers. I still don't have it on my phone. Like I got like I'll go to the website sometimes and then do something, but like I don't have that shit on my phone. I don't know. It's interesting, but that answer is very interesting because that's exactly what we see happening now to dumb down the children of today, the generation of today. Their news consist of sound bites with no evidence or facts or receipts. If you can't reach them through TikTok or Instagram with a 1-minute clip, you done lost them already. The program is too strong. You know what I mean? It's excuse me. I mean, ChatGPT is not lying because that seems to be the plan right now. That seems to be how things are playing out right now. You know? Like I said, I think it's interesting because Paul Harvey was on to something back when he did that in the 50s. Now, ChatGPT just gave his lady the blueprint on how to bring down a generation. And we're seeing it happen in real time. Songs are shorter too, yeah, right? Songs be like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like I said, guys, truth is stranger than fiction. Truth is stranger than fiction. So say, get a hold of your kids, man. Deprogram them when they come home. Debrief them when they come home. Teach them how to move in a room full of vultures. Teach them how to move like ninjas in this world. But they used to say, we're behind enemy lines. Teach them how to move behind enemy lines, guys. Anyway. That's all I got for you guys today. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon to let you know when I got new content coming out. Please share the stream, guys. Let people know we live. You catching the replay? Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. I can use that constructive criticism. You want to donate to the channel? $ Cannon Hotep on Cash App, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Always welcome, guys. If you're on Kick, consider donating over on Kick, guys. I appreciate every little bit goes back into the channel. Every little bit goes back into the channel. Anyway, until next time, it's Cannon Hotep saying be blessed, stay strapped, don't miss. And don't worry about tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow got enough problems of his own. Worry about today. I'll holler at you guys.
Don't relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes.